Nice.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Taurus Tech Talk. It's a very special one today because we're actually live at Taurus's 4th annual technology show. And so we thought it'd be cool to take a little break, maybe get off of our feet for a little bit, and invite a couple of partners to sit down with me and Corey and just chat back and forth and say hi to everybody and let them know what they're missing if they're just watching this and weren't actually a part of it. So today joining us, we have Robert Dutton with Legrand and Marc Harrison with Crestron. Obviously, you all know Corey Church, my counterpart and co-host. And we're just going to jump right into it. Obviously, we're at the show today. We've got 15 of our preferred manufacturer partners, and you guys make up a lot of that. And so I'm just going to fire away some questions because I'm always curious to know. It's like everyone wants to know how many trade shows you've been to. And I'll start with Robert. Now, this could be whether you presented at a trade show or you've just joined as an attendee. And it has to be audiovisual professional related. So don't tell me about the one that you went for the Pottery Barn. I don't care about any of that.
Oh, there goes my numbers.
Mark was like 112,000.
Yes.
I've never kept count, but my first InfoComm.
That's the way you say that, Robert, is I've lost count.
But my first InfoComm was June 2000 in Anaheim, California. I had just gotten in the industry December 99, and I've been to every InfoComm, quite a few of the NSCA shows when they were around.
Yeah.
Some of the broadcast shows, and then numerous dealer shows. In fact, the last show I did before the Taurus Tech 4 show was the Taurus Tech 3 show right before everything shut down.
So we have I would say been fortunate that our last show was in 2020 in March 6th to be exact.
Yeah.
Which was about 2 weeks, give or take, what region of the planet that you're in, that the world started to fall apart.
Well, and we weren't trying to sneak it in.
No.
We didn't know.
Right. No.
Right.
And I think, Mark, you and I were talking earlier. It was like the next week. I think I sent everybody home, like middle or end of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't come back until
It's an
it's
interesting
time.
time.
Right.
Well, it's like, well, it's even worse than that. It's like, I think we'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks. That's what they're telling us.
Yeah.
And I still have people who haven't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, they're working. I hope. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
We won't know today.
They're
We've been
logging in
concentrating.
every day.
Yeah.
But
I left this show and went deer hunting for Axis Deer down in South Texas. And the place is, the guy that owns the place is a doctor. And he's retired. He's a super nice guy. But anyway, he calls us on Saturday. He's like, hey, I need to talk to you guys. We're like, okay. So I've got a friend that has like connections within the government. I'm like, oh, okay. We got black planes flying over. What's going on here, you know? And he goes, they're going to shut the state down on Monday. Y'all need to leave. So I literally had to leave on that Sunday.
Oh, that's eerie.
And it was right after this show. So that tells you how close it was to them actually shutting the state down. I think it was the end of the next week whenever they actually said, okay, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks, like Corey just said. And
well,
it turned into some places still gone.
14 days to slow the spread. Was that the slogan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember hearing anything really about it other than, a couple of people were getting sick. And then it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting times. So
and you were telling this off camera earlier, you're literally the last trade show you attended was our trade show last year.
And this is the first trade show this year that I've attended. So
I wouldn't even call it a trade show as much as I would call it a dream shop. We make people's dreams come true here. And
this is why Robert's
show's a part of it.
Absolutely. I'm keeping that
a trade show just says, Legos. you know.
Legos.
Lego.
Yeah, Legos are boring.
These guys
are we not?
Put on a
Are we
lot.
not in the nest with the tree?
No.
I think I heard Robert say 250. Right. I was doing the math in my head. If he's been to every InfoComm, they missed one InfoComm. That's been 20 years. So then you've got the NSCAs, and so that, and then 250.
So are you are you going InfoComm this year then? No.
Legrand pulled out of that.
Okay. I'm not entirely.
This is the Texas InfoComm here.
It's right here. This
Here
is
we go.
this is where the bomb. If you're not here now, you need to get down here now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is post-edited, so you can't come right now. Like, I wish I could entice you to come right now, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So
Hold on, my wheels are stuck spinning.
Are you stuck on the?
We can't use the name InfoComm, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Are you stuck on the fact that
I'm already
this is
thinking-
now proclaimed as the Texas InfoComm? Or are you trying to spin somehow Dreammaker into the show?
I think both.
There you go.
Well,
Dreammaker, it kind of goes
Taurus,
without saying.
Taurus Dreammaker.
I mean, look at these guys in here.
Look at this.
We make
group.
people's dreams go
That's
true.
right. Yeah. Nightmare's still a dream.
Who are you waving at, Robert?
Dan.
Sorry,
okay, so
I got
Marc,
way off track.
Marc,
Yes.
how many shows do you think you've been to?
You know, I had a little bit more time to process that than what Robert
Did you?
So it's in excess of 100, but probably closer to 150.
Okay, what's been your favorite one?
Ooh.
The fact that you had to think that long is a loaded question.
No, it's trying to remember some of the things that were not very memorable during the show. Probably CEDIA Denver, the second year it was in Denver.
Yeah.
Wrong answer. He was looking for
You're looking for
Taurus
Taurus.
Technology
Yeah.
Showcase.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But-
I mean, obviously.
But the dealer shows are always fun. You know, it's one thing that COVID brought out, or really made, at least me, a lot more aware of, is how many people I actually get to interact with on a daily basis that I consider friends.
Yeah.
And so when sitting at home doing all this virtually, I missed that part of it. I missed coming in and seeing you guys and seeing my friends that I have been fortunate enough to be able to build over the years in the industry. And so I love going to the shows now because I think I appreciate that so much more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, Michael Hooper with Biamp. We've never worked together. We've always kind of worked opposite of each other, but I consider him a friend. And it was so good just to catch up with him and see how he's doing. And we missed all that during COVID because I never have a reason to interact with anyone from another manufacturer, right? Other than shows like this. So I'm glad.
It's cool.
that they're back.
It's like a family of people.
It
and,
is.
And some people move over to this company and vice versa. It is always neat to see that. Corey and I we're completely faithful. Like we're going to be here until the day we die.
This is my retirement plan, whatever that means. I actually sat down to lunch, happenstance. It wasn't on purpose with Marc and Hooper, and they were talking way over my head. It was nice to listen to, though.
I don't believe that for a second.
No,
not at all.
really.
Not the nice to listen to, the over the head part.
No, it was way over my head.
So they were talking about UFOs and stuff like that. That's what
No,
you
that
mean,
wouldn't be
right?
over my head.
telling you.
No.
Some of the conversations with Hooper can go in many different directions.
Oh, he's a
I hope he
sharp guy,
watches
man.
this later.
Yeah.
Listen, the only thing I asked for in that lunch conversation, though, was full scale digital. Yeah, I need my napkin.
Where's your napkin?
You missed it. It's on video.
Did you
I
draw
need-
something on a napkin and
No, it was
literally
even
have a
better.
nappy
Hold
cat?
on.
It
I'm
was
gonna get
even
that
better.
video. I'm gonna get that video from Hooper,
Yeah.
and we're gonna splice it in here. It's got to be good. I mean, other than it's me, but
Do it again.
listen. If you're really interested in virtualization, all you gotta do is take the software out of the smaller box and just unfold that, pick it up, and move it over here. Done. essentially, I was trying to explain to Hooper how you grow a business and virtualize it. So I picked up a napkin. I got a napkin, and I laid it out. I was like, "You got a napkin? It's right here. This is your box, and all you do is you unfold it, right? And it's 4 times the size. And here you go.
You put it in a bigger box.
And you put it in a bigger box,
and it's that easy.
and then you're done." I was like, "What are we waiting on?" I was asking him for product.
I feel like I'm growing to be the negative person here on the show, but it also makes it thinner because now you've.
Listen, you've already way overthought it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it's a napkin.
Well, it went from that to we need investors, and I volunteered $20. I got $20 for this
He's
one.
gonna throw it out there right there. Here you go, Corey. Let's make this napkin dream happen.
Yeah, I got $20.
They were all in until it came out to putting money on the table, and then the dream died.
I still had my $20. I'm all in.
They lack the vision.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so
yeah, and Hooper was like, we're going to need $100 million to get started. I was like, well, you're not going to get that much.
it's a napkin.
Yeah, it's a napkin.
All right. So just keep it on the trade show theme, and you don't have to answer Taurus because we probably acceptable to the next answer is not going to be Taurus. So the coolest trade show, and I'll start again with Robert. The coolest trade show experience that you had. Do you remember that? Something's got to pop
Well,
out.
hold on. Can we expand that?
Well,
Can it-
okay.
can
let
be-
me-
hold on. Can it be like trade show week? Maybe it was something that didn't happen on the trade show floor, but maybe it was evening activities.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and that's where I was going to.
PG though. PG.
I was going to go there. So, the last NSCA show, NSCA always opened up with a band, like a concert, and I had enticed my best friend who lived in Phoenix. I would join me in Vegas, right? I'll get 2 rooms. At night, we'll hang around and stuff like that. During the day, I got to go do the show. He's like, oh, yeah, no worries. So he comes in, and he's like, so what's going on tonight? I'm like, oh, there's an open party. And he, like, grabs it. He goes, oh, dude, we got to go to this. And I'm like, why? And he's like, you're going to love this guy. You absolutely we have to go to the show. I was, okay. So we walk in, and we go there, and it's, big round bar in the middle of the room, and then it's a bunch of 10-seat rounds, right?
Okay.
All over the room, and the stage is at the front. And we grab a couple of drinks, and they're all right. Band starts coming out, and I'm totally drawing a blank, but it was the lead singer from the Stray Cats.
Okay. I don't know who the Stray Cats are. I mean, there's a couple next to the house, but other than that,
Alexa,
I know.
who's the lead singer of the Stray Cats? Oh, wait.
Right. We don't have like. Anyways, so he comes out, right? And this guy does rockabilly stuff, right? That's what the Stray Cats from the 80s were, right? So he comes out, and it's the upright bass, right? The drum set's raised to the drummer standing up.
yeah.
He's got his big body guitar. 3 girls come out, they're singing backup vocals. He's got a horn section that comes out, right?
Wow.
And they're doing the big band thing, right?
with 10 round tables out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was, the round tables, and we happened to just walk up to this table on the front, and it was a bunch of Canadians, and they were like, oh yeah, here's 2 seats. Come on, join us. And we're all right. And we're like, so we ended up partying with a bunch of Canadians we didn't know.
Nice.
Watching the show, and they get through probably about 3 or 4 songs, like a big band type setup, and then the horn section and the female singers, backup singers go away, and this guy takes off his jacket, and he's got like this punk type shirt on there, and then it's just the 3-piece, and they go into like total rockabilly style.
Wow.
And the bass player is standing on his upright bass, balancing on this thing, standing on it, playing bass to all these songs. It was by far one of the greatest showman things that we were 10 feet from him. I mean,
And it was a non-expectant thing. Like
Right.
you got there and it just became that.
Right.
And you just had the time of your life.
right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Brian Seltzer.
Brian Seltzer, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he
That's
is
good.
Yeah, he does a Christmas show, I think, up in Allen every once in a while.
I didn't know that.
I thought for a second you were gonna say, then the backup singers came off, and then they were like, "Hey, you want to come up and play?" and then you jammed, and like the spotlight was on you, and it was just the best experience. I thought that's what you were gonna say.
It was.
Your story was really good, though.
It was a really cool experience.
That was another show.
Yeah.
That was the second best
that
show
was
I've
the
ever
second
been
best
to.
show. Yeah.
All right, Mark. So tell us about your the best experience at a trade show that you've had.
It's funny. Before Robert started answering, I had going through my head, and his answer is actually very similar to mine. And
hold on.
You were at a Brian Seltzer show.
I was at a Brian Seltzer
You're
show.
going to have to start with Mark next time.
Yeah,
You're
no,
giving
he doesn't
him,
get the opportunity to think that much.
You're giving him too much time
you're
to
right,
think.
You're right.
No, it was the first time I went to Infocom with Crestron and went to the Crestron party because of exactly what he said. The band that came out, there was, hey. There was,
Sorry,
Mark's like,
I was waving at people. Those
no,
people
I'm
that
sure
are watching.
again.
Sorry.
No, the band that came out was amazing. It was Royal Machines, but it was like
They're good, too.
Billy Idol's guitarist.
Nice.
There was all these different artists, just hodgepodge from all, but they're all mainstream groups, and they played all kinds of different genres of music, and would go from one to the other. You know, would go from I don't want to call it soft rock, but a little bit quieter rock to Metallica, and then kick back over and play an AC/DC
Crestron
song.
always throws great parties.
It was.
They
I was
throw
blown
some
away.
legitimate parties.
I was shocked at just how legit that whole scene was, and then I'm thinking, we better sell a lot of stuff because we just spent a lot of money on this.
So I have an answer.
Oh, are you not going to tell one of ours, are you?
No. This is
Okay,
this is
good.
actually at a Crestron party.
Okay.
But I think this is a cue to you guys, right? So you need to have a live band come in
Oh, that was
Yeah.
for your next tech show.
Oh,
right?
maybe.
We're going to wrap up the segment with ideas. We've had two people say, you guys need to play live music here because this is the kind of
What if
ambiance for
what
it.
if we start the tech show at noon, and it rolls into
Midnight?
a party
Yeah.
into the evening?
12
it's
to
not,
12.
It's not a working show anymore. It just turns into a party
That's right. I like
into
it.
the evening.
And then all of the booths set up, people could just take whatever they wanted, like
Well,
free reign, so that way nobody has to clean up after the party.
I think at every booth you need to have a different drink,
Ah.
and then in order to win, you have to have your
Like
drink
the-
card signed at
We'll call
every
it the
booth.
show crawl
And let's-
instead of a pub crawl. The
That's
show
a
crawl.
great idea.
The
Wow.
dream crawl.
We just gave everybody on the internet these ideas.
All 12
just so
of
you
them.
know.
You just have to rent like a bunch of RVs and like trailers and park them out there so people can crash.
yes. We have to
We'll
take care of that.
we'll get a whole bunch of Ubers
Yeah.
standing by just in the parking lot
Yeah.
waiting.
Well, you're good at waving down random limos. We can just send you out there.
That's what I'm told. So there are two instances in the same. It was at an Infocom. It was at a Crestron party, and Chris Meacham and myself and some other people were all sitting front row, and it was when it's the comedian who performed. Not the two comedians, but he came back for the
Sinbad.
second year.
No,
Sinbad.
it wasn't.
It was Sinbad.
It wasn't Sinbad
wasn't
and
the
David
Sinbad year?
and David Spade.
It was.
No,
I didn't go to
no, 'cause
David.
Sinbad and David Spade was in Orlando. This
Yes.
was in Vegas.
I'm talking about when it was only
and
Sinbad.
it was only Sinbad. The
Because
next
I didn't
year-
get to see David Spade, and I heard he wasn't very good as it relates to the crowd.
well,
Anyway,
Sinbad was better, and that's why you guys brought him back
So-
because he did his homework on us.
So we're sitting front row, and so he's asking questions. He's done his homework again,
Yeah.
and I think I even have it on video.
Oh, he called you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
Well,
that.
he's talking to Meacham,
yeah.
and Meacham points to me for something he says, and Sinbad calls me out.
yeah.
It was hilarious. But really, what the moment in time in which I'll never forget is when he's like, "Consultants, am I right?"
And just stop.
And then the entire crowd boos, like in agreement with him. And then directly following that, he points to somebody else in the crowd, and it's from Whitlock. And the crowd booed again. Because it was Whitlock. And I was like, oh, okay. That's not good.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about that particular show, I mean, Sinbad was calling out like Fred Bargetzi and people within Crestron,
Yeah.
and then making fun of problems that they would have dealt with in their role at Crestron.
Yeah, he was
it wasn't
so
just random.
relatable for a famous person like that. He did a really, really great job. So that one, I wouldn't say it's the best experience, but it's obviously the most memorable because
Yeah, that's what I went with.
the night before that, Corey and I are there together. We're there with a couple of other of
As a
our
couple?
colleagues.
Yeah.
I mean,
We probably shared a room.
Basically,
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
basically work wives already.
Yeah.
So
I'm the husband.
this is all allegedly. The night before, which was, I think the Crestron show was always on Friday
Thursday night. Because the show in Friday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Thursday,
usually-
Thursday night, yeah.
So the night before, on Wednesday night, first day of the show, we always
First
like
day of
to-
the show for us because we
Correct,
show
correct.
up late.
So we always like to if we have customers going, we like to kind of show them around to some of the products that we've already learned about, and maybe things that'll work great for them in their environment, so on and so forth. So I get caught up into that, and allegedly had a very long night / morning / next day, and then work started happening, and I told the guys, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go to the party. I saw Sinbad last year. He was great. You know, you guys go ahead. I think I'm just going to get room service and answer some emails.
Right.
And they came back in telling me all this story. Like, dude, you won't believe we got in the front row and we got singled out and they said Taurus's name and all of this other stuff. And all I wanted to do was just be in denial. Like, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
you are kidding me.
Why are you making this up right now?
Front row, Bob. Front row. And then they're like, okay, yeah. Showed me pictures, showed me videos, and I was so upset. And
you were rooming with Chris Evans.
Yes, that's
and
right.
I was with Chris Meacham.
That's right. That's right.
And Chris and I went back to the hotel room around midnight, and he's being soft spoken. He partied it up all night.
Yeah, I thought that was clear.
And then
that's what I got out of it.
Okay,
Right.
I just make sure our audience knows what you meant. And then bailed
I
for the
was
rest of the day.
and that's the one that's the most memorable. We've had a lot of great times, great experiences, seen some really, really cool techs, but that was the most memorable to me because I missed out on it technically.
I did turn 50 at Infocom one year.
Wait, I thought I
Hopefully-
pegged you as 40 right now.
Hopefully in Vegas and not Orlando.
It was in Vegas.
Good.
And
always a better
supposedly
show.
someone has a video of me on top of the little beam
Allegedly.
statue.
The what?
Out in front of Avia, the
Yeah.
hotel.
Yeah.
Of me being on top of it at 2 a.m. Supposedly. I mean, I didn't do it, but supposedly there's video of it somewhere out there.
And you hope that video never surfaces.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a video of me at the Hofbrau in Las Vegas during Infocom doing a chicken dance with all the waitresses. It's out there.
Hey, man,
But, you know,
I can think of worse things.
That was after 2 or 3 of the 32-ounce dunkles at the Hofbrau.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Those will get you.
You know what you were saying and what you just said. That's the reason when you go to these shows, you come back, you're just wiped because you don't dare. Yeah, you may be out all night playing, and then you go to the show the whole next day, but you don't dare not go out the next night because
No.
That's your opportunity.
there's so many people out there just doing deniable things, that you're going to see something crazy from someone and so you're going to miss that Sinbad moment, right? So,
Yeah.
Well, and you guys have it harder than we do because
Yes,
we're
we
there.
do.
Well, no, but legitimately,
Be in the
like
booth
you
at
guys
8
have to
a.m.
get up
every
and
morning.
work.
But the show doesn't
Yeah.
start till 9. Be in the booth at 8 a.m. the next morning.
Yes.
Show starts at 9. Be in the booth at 8 a.m. All right.
we're aware of the start time, and we'll see you at 8. Yeah.
So,
And you come dragging in at 8:30.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
just a couple more questions.
that show, when I turned 50,
Yeah.
I think I got 2.5 to 3 hours sleep every night. Landed Saturday in Dallas after coming home from Vegas, jumped on my bike and was in Memphis at midnight and was gone for 2 weeks on a bike ride. Like I can't believe I woke up the next morning in Memphis, man. This is just like as fast as the bike would go. I'm like, just get me there quicker. The sun went down and the throttle just twisted a little harder.
So, I think I know the answer, but I think it'd be interesting for other people to hear the answer. When you work a trade show, and let's say the trade show is minimum 2 days, let's just call it the Infocom trade show floor is 3 days long.
Mm-hmm.
When you work that, and this question's to Marc, what is the number one thing that you need? Now, we know that there's a lot. What's the number one thing that you need as a presenter at a show like that in order to make it through that duration?
So if you're a presenter, it's different than if you're just walking with a group. So
Well, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he means you're taking meetings and
hosting.
walking.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're hosting the booth.
you have to insist on doing it mentally because by the second day of the show, you're done.
Yeah.
And so you literally you wake up in the morning and there's the snooze button, and if you hit it once, you're in trouble. You've got to get up. You got to go. You got to bring multiple pairs of shoes so that you change shoes, all throughout the show.
Yeah, that's a good pro comment there.
Yeah, and then you got
Probably shoes and socks, right?
right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then the other thing is at the end of every day, don't go to your hotel room other than to change and go out so that you can get back to your hotel room a little bit quicker.
Ah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Robert, what's the number one thing you need as a host at a trade show?
So there's a couple of things that Marc said that I totally agree with. I grew up backpacking, so I always wear 2 pairs of socks,
Ah,
right? Just like when you backpack, right? It saves your feet.
Yeah.
I pre-take Advil before I go to the trade show floor every morning.
Yep.
And I'm a big
preventative maintenance.
Right.
We're big on that too here
Right.
at Taurus Technologies.
Right. And then I'm a big believer in Zip Fizz, and it's a
What'd you say?
Zip Fizz. It's an energy drink that's
We've talked about this. Yeah.
it's super high B12, B6, vitamin C, zinc, so it all sinks in your system. It's a little bit of caffeine, not like Red Bull. Like Red Bull will get you all jittery. This stuff is just mental clarity. And
You said you were
Pops
going to
your
bring
eyes
me
out.
some of that last time we talked about it.
I got one in my backpack.
Okay, nice.
give it
That
to
was
you.
over
I feel like
a
we
year
just
ago.
plugged Zip Fizz. You're welcome.
But that's 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening before I go out, and man, I swear by that stuff. It's
I thought for sure you guys were going to say, we've got to have the most plush carpet and pad,
So-
or we've
As-
got to
as
have
much as-
coffee, or we've got to
as
have...
much as I.
It's
want
funny
that,
you-
it's corporate makes those decisions, and you just have to deal with what they give you.
You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
You
right?
guys said
Yeah.
what you need individually as humans. I was meaning like...
Well, things they
what
have control
tools-
over.
Yeah,
Things they have
absolutely.
control
That-
over.
But we
It's
had the
funny.
carpet conversation.
It's
at
funny
lunch.
you mentioned the carpet because he's like, you think the carpet's great, but really it's great for the people coming in and out of the booth. He said for him anyway, it's like trudging around in sand all day
Ah,
Yeah.
because
that makes sense.
You don't have firm ground to stand on. You're just like on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense.
It just wears your legs out. So at the end of the show, everybody's coming to like the Crestron booth or the other booths that have that real thick padding,
Right.
and getting off the aisles onto our booth. And you see all the Crestron people out in the aisles on the concrete trying to get
Off the sand. Get off the
That's
sand.
fascinating. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's
That's
brutal.
really cool.
Legrand's always done like a coffee bar in the morning, and I can't tell you. I don't think there's ever been once where there hasn't been 2 to 3 full cups of coffee just dropped somewhere in the booth
Yeah.
within the first 20 minutes on the first day. It's like, oh man.
That's horrible.
I told you so.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped a full cup of coffee out here this morning. It probably wasn't 40 minutes after you dropped off the bagels and coffee.
Yeah.
It was just all over the floor.
Well, we probably had an amazing staff clean it up in no time.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Listen, guys, I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time out of the show to come hang out with us. This was obviously a lot of fun. We're going to continue to have fun. I think one of the things, and we've talked about some of the pain points and some of the fun times of trade shows, but I think it's also important for a lot of listeners and viewers to understand that these are great opportunities to see the latest and greatest,
Absolutely.
to get the information straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, to be able to understand, hey, this is what we got, this is what it's capable of, and I, as the manufacturer of that, can solidify that for you, and let's talk about how we can do more business. And it's not just about Taurus as the host of that. We get everybody together, and one of the things we concentrate on here, and Corey and I are big proponents of it, is making sure that we build the show as a system.
Yeah.
Like we can put together a bunch of manufacturers for display technologies. We can have the Samsungs, the Sonys, the NECs, and we can just go over all of that. But what we try to do is we try to bring together a family of components that make up the people's needs in Pro AV. So
I think another thing for the end users is it's a low cost way to get exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Because it's local. And, I mean, Robert's here and they've got their space and they've set up, but that represents like this much of their product line.
Yeah.
So if you need more and it's in that line, go talk to him. He would love to help you out with that. The same with us, and we're all that way. So it's a great chance, like you said, to get in front of them, but it's low cost to the end user. And,
Yeah.
Yep.
So
we love doing it, and
Share
we
your
look
needs,
forward
wants, and
to.
desires.
Yeah.
And we're local. So
Well, and I would
if we need to do a follow up and bring a demo to you,
Yeah.
it's always possible.
Well, I would say as an end user, it's easy for us to get in front of you guys, but it's sometimes, especially for like a medium to small size end user,
Yeah.
it's almost impossible unless they've got a personal connection with you
Yeah.
to get in front of a vendor. And if they don't feel like Robert or I are doing our job or trying to pull the wool over their eyes, they can come straight to our show and talk directly to Robert or you or anybody else and go, on the sly, these guys are telling me this.
right.
What's your take on it?
Right.
And we're not, I mean, we may or may not be there. We're not, we're not babysitting it necessarily. And it's not like we're going to come to you and go, hey, if this guy, make sure you tell him this.
Yeah. Well, and fortunately, from the group that's been historically at your show, we're all in sales, but that group that's in there, there's a lot of transparency amongst that group. So, for any of those questions ever do come up, which they haven't, it's easy to answer those, right? And you don't have to worry about the person at the next booth going, oh, you're not towing the line, or wow, all you're doing is just talking good about Taurus just because. No, you can tell it's just transparency coming out.
And the breakout sessions are great. I mean, we did one this morning and had somebody come by the table afterwards, and they're like, that was so informative. You clarified so many things in my mind based on the information you guys shared. So
yeah, that's good to hear. The breakout sessions are important to us. We want to cover today's most important topics, and I think you guys all did a fantastic job of that. We'll keep that going, and I want to say, go ahead, Corey.
I was going to say, to Robert's credit, in previous years we've done 30 or 40-minute breakout sessions and limited them to like 4 manufacturers, but having a multitude of manufacturers and limiting their time down, I think gave participants a wider opportunity to hear from more vendors. But the other thing is it was less of a commitment because they're really here to walk the show. Maybe they don't have all day, and they don't want to burn 30 minutes at 2:30 in the afternoon sitting through a show, but 12 to 15 minutes seems way more palatable.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was a great idea.
And again, I just want to thank you guys for being a part of it. Thanks to everyone else that was a part of the show, making it possible. For those of you that are listening and watching, we hope that you enjoyed today's cast and that you come out next year for 2022's show. It's always going to be bigger and better, and we hope to have these guys back here. Maybe we'll do another fun podcast, and I'll come up with some other interesting questions for you guys.
I want the 20 questions like you guys gave each other.
Oh, the fire away questions?
Yeah, the rapid fire.
Okay, we'll get those prepared for next time.
Yeah.
Maybe once we get through our Get to Know Taurus segment, we can do a Get to Know Our Vendor.
Yeah,
and it's
rapid fires only.
Less tech talk, just rapid fire questions. 20 minutes.
There you go.
So for myself, for Corey Church, thank you guys for watching and listening, and we hope to have you here next year at the Taurus Technology Show. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.